Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in Legacy. Today we're looking at Cloudpost. Cloudpost, sometimes called 12-Post, is a green or colorless big mana ramp deck that uses the land Cloudpost to generate a ton of mana for expensive payoffs. The deck doesn't play traditional ramp cards outside of using Green Sun Zenith to find Dryad Arbor, but Cloudpost and the various spells that find it are the deck's ramp. Cloudpost taps for mana equal to the number of loci you control, meaning additional Cloudposts, Glimmerposts, and Vesuvas will generate exponentially more mana. Crop Rotation, Elvish Reclaimer, Expedition Map, Ancient Stirrings, and Once Upon a Time are all cards that help to find more posts and can also dig for other useful lands. Later in the game, Once Upon a Time and Stirrings can find threats instead of lands. This enables the deck to play a suite of useful lands, including the Dark Depths Thespian Stage combo, Cavern of Souls, Bojuka Bog, Boseiju, Karakas, Maze of Ith, and so on. I go in depth on most land cards found in typical land suites in my Legacy Lands video. See that for more info, including an explanation for how the Depths combo works. Of particular note is Glacial Chasm, which can significantly delay damage-based decks from winning until the post deck has its threats online. The typical payoffs for post decks are Primeval Titan and other big green creatures, Ugin, and the various large Eldrazi Titans Kozilek, Ulamog, and Emrakul. Aside from Glacial Chasm, Cloudpost decks have a very good answer to damage in the form of Glimmerpost, since it acts as a turbocharged Radiant Fountain that can be double tutored with Primeval Titan. Green Sun Zenith rounds out the deck since it finds Titan, Elvish Reclaimer, and can ramp via Dryad Arbor. The deck includes other silver bullet cards for GSC such as Reclamation Sage, Endurance, and Ramanop Excavator. On a financial note, the deck becomes significantly cheaper if you opt not to run Tabernacle and can be one of the relatively cheaper decks in the format at around $700 to $800, especially since it doesn't need dual lands or other reserve list cards. Sideboarding and Weaknesses. Post decks can be slow to set up, especially since Cloudpost and Vesuva enter tapped and the deck has few if any early plays. The large amount of colorless lands play poorly with the many cheap green cards that the deck would ideally like to play on curve, such as Elvish Reclaimer. This is made up for by the fact that once it does get going, the deck generates a ton of mana and plays hard to answer threats. The deck is obviously weak to land hate such as Wasteland, Blood Moon, and Back to Basics. In fact, Wasteland is such a big threat to the deck that it mainboards a full playset of Pithing Needles. Needle can also answer other problematic cards like Enemy Dark Depths, Planeswalkers, etc. Post can also fare poorly against combo decks since it has no counterspells, no stacks pieces, and few interactive cards. The sideboard is tailored to shoring up its problems, with Mindbreak Trap being a common inclusion. Tips and tricks. Ramanop Excavator can bring back useful lands repeatedly. This includes the Dark Depths Thespian Stage combo and anything that gets hit by opposing wastelands. It's important to figure out what enters tapped and untapped for sequencing purposes. For example, Elvish Reclaimer brings lands in tapped, whereas Crop Rotation brings them untapped. All loci add to Cloudpost's mana count, but Glimmerpost enters untapped, whereas additional Cloudposts and Vesuvas enter tapped. Following Cloudpost with Glimmerpost grants 3 mana, whereas a second Cloudpost is only 2. However, you get more mana from a second Cloudpost the following turn. You can use Elvish Reclaimer and Crop Rotation to find the Depth Stage combo at instant speed to get around sorcery speed answers like Prismatic Ending. Karakas can bounce your own Eldrazi Titans to protect them from answers like Swords to Plowshares or Solitude, then get their cast triggers again next turn. If you run Golos, make sure to also play Cascading Cataracts so you can activate it. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Cloudpost. I want to thank my fellow players in the Magic community for whom sharing their experiences helps make these guides possible. You can find additional resources, such as an up-to-date deck list, in the description. If you think I left out anything important or got something wrong, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned to see what deck we look at next time.